Hi, this is Dr. Chris Greene, and I have a special friend to share with you. This is my good buddy Nicco, and Nicco is going to share with you his experience with fasting. And I want to tell you, Nicco is a fasting superstar. So when we were talking before, you told me that you've taken your weight from 385 all the way down to currently you're about 275 or so right now?
Yeah,
276?
275, 276.
Awesome. And that's been mostly through fasting?
Mostly through fasting, yeah.
And now when we say fasting, just so everybody knows, we're not talking like you don't eat for a month and then you start eating again. So tell us what your fasting is, how long it is that you take a break between food.
Okay, well, I'm doing an intermittent fasting where I don't fast like 5-6 days at a time. What I do is I try to have between my last meal of the day and my first meal of the next day, I try to have a minimum of 12 to maybe 15 hours in between that.
Okay.
So if I eat my last meal at 9 o'clock at night, I probably won't eat until noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon the next day.
Perfect. So what Nicco just shared with you is exactly what you have in your top 3 tips to quick lasting weight loss, is that fasting is not like going days without food. No, we're just talking about taking a 12 to, what'd you say, 15?
12 to 15 hours.
12 to 15 hours break of food. I mean, really, when you think about it, you go to bed at 9 o'clock. Let's say you go to bed at 9 o'clock, because I know you got some crazy hours.
Yeah.
But let's say a person goes to bed at 9 o'clock. Well, shoot, if you wake up at, let's say you're an early riser at 5, get yourself going, 6:30, you only have a few more hours.
Right, exactly.
And it's 9 o'clock and you get to eat again. So it's not this huge deprivation.
It's just like maybe skipping breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right. I mean, at worst.
Right.
And so I think you had told me a story where you had people ask you about the fact that you fast. Mm-hmm. And they said something to the effect of, oh, are you like starving yourself? Or how do you go so long with...
They were afraid of the constant hunger pains.
Oh, yeah, so tell everybody about hunger pains.
Well, you know, the 2 important things that I found out about hunger pains is that one very important thing is most people in the United States are dehydrated.
Yeah.
And they have false hunger pains because their body is actually thirsty and saying, give me water, I need to cleanse.
Yeah.
So by increasing my water intake up to a little over 3 liters of pure water a day,
great.
and cutting out all the sodas and the caffeines and things like that, it really has helped alleviate a lot of those false hunger pains.
Right.
And the other thing is that like, as you say, you go to bed, you sleep through most of it, and then you get up.
Right.
And at first, maybe a week or 2, you kind of feel I'm eating because I feel like I need to.
Right.
But it's really because we've trained ourselves in America never to let our stomachs be empty.
Oh, no kidding. Isn't that the truth?
And so we feel like we're hungry and we need to eat because we're so uncomfortable with an empty stomach.
Right.
But the reality is that our body is saying, oh, I need this rest. Just let me rest for a couple more hours.
Seriously.
Before you put more food in me.
Yeah. Right.
And the water really helps. You drink a glass of water, you wait 30 minutes. If you're not still hungry, you know you're good to go.
Right. Okay, so if you're wondering about the noise, we're just here at synagogue, you know, it's on Shabbat, and we caught up with each other afterwards, and so a little bit of racket and stuff, no big deal, right? So anyways, Nicco and I were just talking about this whole issue of, as a culture, like in the United States, we always feel like we've got to have food in our stomach. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't eat in the last half hour. So just like, give me some thoughts on that.
Well, we use food to celebrate good things. We use food to entertain us when we're bored.
Oh, no kidding.
We use food just mindlessly sitting in front of the television, just feeding stuff in it because the commercial says this is fun, you know. And a lot of times I know in the past I've had a problem where if I'm bored or I'm depressed, you know, having something in your stomach, having a physical thing going on, will helps me to forget whatever emotional or mental thing I'm dealing with. So you eat away the pain, you eat away the depression, things like that.
Right. Food becomes your crutch, really.
It does.
All right, so let's just jump to the chase here and get Nicco's top tips for fasting. Give me 2 top tips for fasting.
The 2 top tips, just make purified water your friend.
Okay.
I started
Number
out,
1, purified water. And you said what, about 3 liters a day that you drink?
Right, over 3 liters usually.
Okay.
I started out I measured how I'm drinking 4 or 5 glasses of water a day.
Right.
Over the course of several days, I just began to increase, drink 1 more glass, until I got to where over 3 liters, approximately a gallon of distilled water a day.
All right.
And I was drinking distilled water for about a month or so.
Right. Okay, but you get that 3 liters a day, though.
At least.
At least. Okay,
Yeah.
so did you catch that? At least 3 liters. So that's the better part of a gallon. Right? Okay.
And talk to your doctor before you do it, because
Perfect.
people that drink too much water too fast can become waterlogged and create some serious health issues.
Yes.
So take it slow as you begin
Take
to
it
increase.
slow. This is a really key point. And then, so give us your last number 2, Nicco's top tip.
Number 2 is just start to keep your mind focused on positive things instead of on eating.
Yes.
If you're constantly eating while you're watching TV, you know what? Change your mind. When the commercial comes on, do some sit-ups or push-ups or some deep knee bends. Maybe let go of that television and read a good book. Keep your mind active. I like to listen to some CDs and things from my favorite ministers, right? Or listen to music. Vivaldi, the Four Seasons, are my favorite. Mozart is also one of my favorite composers. Just keep your mind off of food.
Awesome.
If you're at work, you don't think about food until it's lunchtime. Have a thing where you got a big salad with some lean protein on top of it.
Okay.
You know, just keep your mind off of food and doing positive things.
Or you could be like Bill and you could just vacuum all the
Constantly
time.
vacuuming the synagogue, right? we gave him lunch early, so now he's got a lot of energy. Yeah.
You could just vacuum all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, look, housework isn't like going out and running a marathon, but it's doing something, keeping active.
Seriously, right? I mean, as much as we joke about it just now, it's true though. You got to get your mind off of always thinking about food.
Become comfortable with who you are, and especially for those of you who are God-fearing people, become comfortable with your relationship with the Lord.
Amen.
You get that straight, and when you start to get a peace inside, you don't have the constant draw towards food because you feel empty or lost or hurting.
So great. Well, let's wrap it there.
Okay.
Thanks, Nicco. This has been
You're
great.
welcome. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's my
this is
pleasure to
super.
help.
And so anyways, this is Nicco. He's done so good with fasting, 12 to 15 hours a day just to break in food. It works. He's dropped his weight tremendously, and he's still going down.
Still going down?
So
Yeah.
excited for you.
Right. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Praise God.
God bless you, and
Thank
good luck
you.
to you.